Go. We should be live. Hey, everybody. Sorry about last week. Baseball. Sorry. Happens. I'm sorry.
Life happens.
Sorry. We have
Kids
children.
happen.
We have children. Sorry. Happens on occasion. Doesn't happen very often. I think that's the first time this season.
Pretty
It happens
good,
usually.
I think.
Yeah, we've been pretty good about it.
It's been pretty good. This season has been schedule has been okay.
It's been kind to us here on the show.
So far we got some makeups to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Tonight's show is about Geooh-Go. We got Ron on the show. Anybody have a question for Ron? You can give us a call 808-468-7924. 808 got swag. If you have any questions, feel free to call him or call us, and you could talk to him and get your questions answered personally. Ron, I'm going to throw you on mute while I start this. All right. I will, when I say welcome, Ron, you will then be in. Cool?
All right.
All right, cool. Okay, Ron's muted. Chad, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Jesse, you okay?
Sure.
You ready to go?
Yes. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
Just making
okay.
sure you're ready to go. You got your coffee and all that. Make sure.
I got my coffee.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. Go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's 8:30, which means that it's once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Scott Burks. We have Short Ants in the next room.
Hello.
Hi. And please welcome to my virtual left, my other co-host, Chaz, 427.
Howdy, y'all. Let's get ready and Geooh-Go.
That's right. Tonight's episode 772, recorded live on June 28th, 2023, is the Geooh-Go app updates. Phone lines are open, so give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. And for you international callers, you can call us free via the web at callinstudio.com/show/GCPC. But first, Chad, before we get to Ron, who's here, we got to talk about Patreon.
Got to pay those bills.
Guys, it costs a lot of money to make the show work. There's two ways you can help us out. You can go to paypal.me. That's PAYPAL.me/the Geocaching Podcast. You make a one-time donation. We don't care what it is. Go straight to the bills. Or you join Patreon. You join Patreon, Chad. You see the videos? I was the Geoclash videos. Right?
Yeah.
I know. What that? Got another one coming this weekend too. Extra audio, extra video, only available to our Patreon members. You get path tags and stickers and coins and buttons and all that good stuff. You get patron-only shows and the coveted patron-only giveaway show at the end of the year. We just give stuff away. You join us and we just give you free stuff.
All kinds of great stuff to give
You
away.
free stuff. You can't go wrong with that. So you want to become patron, you can. It's a lot of fun on the other side. You go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
Tonight, we're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go cache than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Begone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, then you've gone to the right place. Give them the opportunity to show you how they can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And by pattags.com for all your swag and pat tag needs. Visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pat tags. With over 48,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pat tag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com.
And by Geocaching Adventures LLC. Geocaching Adventures is a full-service travel agency specializing in creating the ultimate worldwide geocaching adventures for cachers and non-cachers alike. What could be better than having your own custom geocaching bucket list vacation, all planned and led by a traveling expert? Learn more by visiting us at geocachingadventuresllc.com. That's geocachingadventuresllc.com.
And finally, by Geooh-Go. Go caching with Geooh-Go, the geocaching app for Android that includes a Where I Go player, trackable scanner, companion watch app, and county finds database. If you're an advanced geocacher, Geooh-Go helps with powerful features like nearby cache notifications, optimized routes, offline mode, bulk TB logging, and much more. Learn more by visiting them at geoohgo.com. That's GEOOH-go.com.
And as always, Chad, you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes.
Show notes. All right, guys, we got Ron here from Geooh-Go on the show tonight. But before we get to him, it's a little more. We got some emails to read here. Chad, we got some emails. Apparently, the favorite points one, people responded to that. So we got Heracross from the Netherlands, Chad. The Netherlands writes us. Says, I listened to the show and, of course, also to last week's show about the favorite points discussion. I want to react to on the topic about taking back favorite points after a cache gets archived. What I missed in the discussion is the reason why a cacher gives a favorite point. You can have different reasons, but one way of dividing it is, number one, to thank or reward a CEO for making the nice experience possible, or two, to make other geocachers aware of the nice or go-to cache. I know there are rules about it, so it all goes by the interpretation. If your main reason is one, then you should never take back a favorite point. But if your main reason is two, then there's no reason to maintain the favorite point on an archived cache. For the record, he's in camp one. Chad, do you agree with that?
I agree with that. And actually, the discussion came up multiple times over the weekend at Caching in the Bay. So I had several people giving me their opinions of it, and it was a mixed bag. But there's several people that that love to give out favorite points, and they pull them back, especially from archived caches.
Interesting, Jesse. What's your thought?
No, I never would have thought to take away a favorite point that I have given out. I've given it for a reason. They deserve it.
Fair enough.
Right. I agree, but then again, I'm a favorite point miser apparently.
All right, this next one, this person did not want to be named. So this is, I was listening to last week's show about favorite points, and I agree with most of the reasons that you all chose as to why you give favorite points. There is one more reason I have a tendency to give a lot of favorite points, and that is for earth caches. Don't misunderstand me. It's not that I like earth caches. In fact, it is the opposite. I usually have a very hard time with them either understanding what is required or actually answering the questions, but I do try. Then I usually say in my log that I've given a favorite point and hoping the CEO you will see that and go easy on me and not delete my log. This is why he didn't want to be named, or she, I should say. That's an interesting way to do it.
Wow,
I butter them up with a favorite point, they won't delete your log.
I have never been in fear of my log being deleted on an earth cache.
Neither have I.
I have only had one earth cache owner tell me that I was wrong.
I've been told I was wrong, but they didn't delete my log.
They didn't delete my log, and I humbly disagree with the earth cache owner. So
I don't think they can delete your log.
I don't know if they can or not.
I don't think they can.
You made a concerted effort to learn the information and provide an answer. So
interesting. Next up, ahoy, matey. Nancy of the Deadliest Cachers here. This year's Maker Magic event that I held in the Buffalo, New York area was called the Pirate Project. The project consisted of all who were interested to create a pirate-themed geocache, hide it, and have it published on Tuesday, September 19th, which is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arg.
After the event, I got to thinking, why limit this mass publication of pirate-themed geocaches to just my local area? So I'm inviting all geocachers to join in on the hijinks and make this undertaking a worldwide event. You can find all the details on the Pirate Project page of my website, Geocaching Central. And if I remember correctly, that's just geocachingcentral.com. I'm almost positive. It is my hope that you will use your resources to share the project details with geocachers worldwide so that this simultaneous publishing of pirate-themed geocaches will be an epic event in the world of geocaching. Chad, you going to hide a pirate-themed cache?
I'm thinking about it now.
On September 19th.
If I do, it will be on September 19th. Well, I'll hide it beforehand, but I'll have it released on September 19th.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask Jesse. Not even going to ask.
I mean, I'm going to say yes and then never do it.
I know. Queen of good intentions.
So I've got an idea. So
look at Chad with an idea. All right. Not that you don't have those. I just mean like already one's popped into your head.
yes, occasionally that they do happen.
Swiftly Golden sends us an email. We all know who Swiftly Golden is. Do we know? Jesse, how do we know Swiftly Golden? I'm giving you I'm throwing you under the basket.
I love when you do that. I'm yes,
All right, I'll let you off the hook. Chad, how do you know Swiftly
Thank you.
Golden?
The name is very
Shame on both of you. He's the one who's got that cache in Kentucky with the house.
okay. That's what I was thinking.
Come
It was
on,
a small
guys.
house in Kentucky, but I didn't want to say it if I was wrong.
I know who you are, Swiftly. Hey guys, just want to say that Make Your Magic event in my TV. Jesse, we're missing on all the Make Your Magic events, by the way.
Yeah, no, not happening
I'm
for
going
us
to
this
one
year.
Saturday.
I just want to say that my Make Your Magic event at my Travel Bug Hotel turned out awesome. I had 43 cachers attend. Dude, that's like
Nice.
creeping up on a mega right there. I had cachers from Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, and even Alabama show up. I even had one cacher comment that she heard about my cache from your podcast. So thank you.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Swift Gold. That's kind of cool. That's it for the emails, guys. So everybody, thank you so much for sending in your emails. We appreciate that. Let's get to the show. We've got Ron on the show. Ron, hold on. Let me bring you in. Hey, Ron, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you, sir. I think it's about a little over a year since the last time we've had you on the show.
I think so.
Which for your app, for anybody who doesn't know, Geooh-Go is a geocaching app for the Android. It's not on the iPhone. Ron, you're the only person who does it, correct? Is it just you?
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, I know you love to hear me talk, but I'm going to pass this over to Chad because I am not an Android user. I'm an iPhone user. So, Chad is an iPhone user. So, Chad, you can take it away and start leading the show. I will
All right.
chirp
So-
in if I have to.
So for those of us who didn't get the chance to see the show where Ron first came on here, I'd like to say, why don't you give us a little bit of background of how and why and when you started developing Geooh-Go?
I started it 13 years ago. I mean, every major version is a year from when I first started it. And I did the app mainly for myself, and it was just initially importing GPX files. And then Groundspeak came out with their live API. I transitioned over to it, and it was called Geo Live at the time. It was free for a while, I think. And then when the new API came out, I really revised it and beefed it up and renamed it to Geooh-Go. And so it's an app that's been out there for 13 years. For every release of Android,
Nice.
I get a new release of Geo on it.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're a programmer. I'm going to go into the assumption you're in your.
Yes, I
don't know
I've
if you
got
still work
I've
on-
got a big, extensive IT background.
I would assume. I'm going to make that call that probably you do. Yes.
So this is kind of my retirement hobby, let's say.
That's a pretty good hobby, man.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Making apps. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So one thing that I missed a feature a couple of shows ago, we were talking about the favorites because it was a show on favorite points, and I thought Geooh-Go had the ability to display favorite points, but then when I looked on my screen, I didn't have it, and then I was like, no, I was like, I'm sorry, I thought I had it on there. After the show, going through my settings, I didn't have it turned on. It was my fault.
So it
But
does.
it has it, and it's a nice big banner that's readable on them, so it's pretty nice.
Way to go, Chad.
Yeah, I did a little differently than what Groundspeak does. It did, kind of like what you said. It's a more visible banner. It's a bright red, so you can clearly make it out which caches have favorites. And unlike the official app, which I think does the top 30% of caches with favorites.
Hearts, don't they? Is it a heart, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I have a heart on the app also. But via settings, you can determine at what minimum level of favorites will show. So instead of a percent of the number,
I see what you're saying.
you just start saying, I want to see 30 and above, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
which I think
shows up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely more beneficial, especially when you have some of these souvenir-based things that you're getting extra points. So if it has 10 or 20 or specific number or higher, to kind of pop that up there. I've got obviously I've got mine set at 10, so that's where I was last. So so there's one there with 13 and one with 66 favorite points that I happened to stop by. One of our listeners, or one of our listeners of the show, so Joyful Nomad, so Ken and Trudy, that was one of their caches. That's where it last was.
Yeah, surprisingly, I have found it useful that I can quickly tell which caches have favorites. It's very readable on the map, and also just before this release, you can always open up a side drawer on the map, which gives you a list. I think the Geo's the only app that does a split screen of a list of the caches along with the caches on the map, and you can and you can sort that list by favorites. So you can see all the top favorites, and as you click on a row in the list, it immediately selects it on the map. And vice versa. If you select a cache on the map, it selects it on the list, so you can see more information about it that way.
Nice.
Thank you, Sean.
Awesome. Yes. So for those who are just listeners of the show, I was demonstrating that a little bit.
Showing us his phone.
Showing you my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it has a lot of capabilities when it comes to favorites.
Yes, definitely does. So since the last time you were on the show, tell us about some of the new features that you've added.
All right, I'll go through the kind of the top, really kind of the unique ones, and then we can maybe go after that. But the big one that isn't being done elsewhere, and I actually had this in a year ago, but then Google wanted it to be removed. It's an Android Auto car app, so that any of the cars that have Android Auto head units displays in the car, you can have Geooh run on that display.
Now that's a killer app in my opinion. That is definitely a killer app or feature. Being able to run your geocaching app on Android Auto. So
yeah. People have always been able to navigate from an app to with it, but what the app does is it's always had this feature called nearby geocaches, which will give you notifications of nearby caches on your phone, on a watch, and it also shows a notification on the car head unit. But in addition to that, you can bring up the car app, the Geooh car app, and show the list of nearby caches alongside the map. Kind of like what Geo does now with its what Chad just showed of a side-by-side list with the map. So it will show you up to 6 nearby geocaches. And the reason there's a limit because Google doesn't want a distraction with for drivers. And so they will not let you show any more items than 6.
I want that distraction.
More than 6. I'll show 6.
Yeah, so it will only show 6 at a time. And as you drive around, then it will periodically refresh to show you the next group of nearby geocaches. And you can select one in the list, and then it will give you more details about it and let you download that into your phone to have kind of an offline list or navigate to it. So it's just very convenient to pretty much geocache from your car.
Yeah, and you see one pop up that has high favorites and stuff. That might be an opportunity to stretch those legs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chad, have you used this feature?
I don't. My vehicle is from 2012. It does not have. It does not have Android Auto, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, that came, I think, in the 17s or 16 or 17. I think
a variation of this also, where you can do instead of just nearby geocaches, you can do the nearest that are in an offline list. So you can, in settings, say instead of showing me nearby, I want to show the nearest in this list I've selected. So if you've got if you've got an offline list, you got a geocaching adventure, and you only want these caches, then it will show you the nearest of in that list and let you navigate and do all the things you need to do to get to it. So it's a very unique, and for years I had people ask, will you get this to run on Android Auto? And I had it a year ago, but Google had yet to really open up the doors for car apps.
Right.
And they have, and it's so far it's been very successful.
Nice
and unique. And Scott, you asked about earlier about augmented reality view. This was another one of those little things that I am experimenting with, and I expect it to grow somewhat. But I've got a feature now that if you're nearby a cache, and it's like, I think 100 feet, 160 feet, on the map, you can turn on an AR view of it. And so the AR view is basically like like Pokemon or something. You're looking through the camera with your phone.
Right. Yes.
And overlaid on the camera view will be a marker for a geocache that's nearby. And it's a way to visually see where the cache is at by you scan the camera around. It works better if it's in an area covered by Street View, because Google's got some slick technology called VPS, Visual Positioning System. And so all the Street View images they've got out there, they can take a look at what's on the phone, and the marker or the location I've said it to be more precisely place that image on the camera view. So you can hopefully, independent of the GPS, more likely see where the cache is really at.
Yeah, independent of the GPS and the coordinates that the cache hider hit them at. So if the coordinates are off, which it happens. You might be stuck on the wrong thing, just like you are with the regular. But it's also when you're kind of like walking up to the cache and you've got a pretty good distance there, you get a visual cue of where it's at, so you're not necessarily having to use as much of your geosenses, or maybe you know that your geosenses might be wrong.
Right,
Right.
exactly. That's, I mean, it's funny because I was a few weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had, I think is when we had Brian Roth on the show, and I asked Brian about AR technology on the app, and he gave me this, gave me a little bit of the runaround, not sure. And then the next day I got an email from Ron going, check this out. And Ron sent me pictures, screenshots of it. I'm like, oh, that's really freaking cool. And so that's why I made sure I wanted Ron to talk about this, because like, obviously it's experimental, obviously. I'm assuming, correct, Ron?
Yes, I mean it works. It's using some real latest technology, and
Right.
and Google's trying to promote AR also.
Well, what you're doing with it is pretty neat. It's actually pretty neat.
Well, I think it's useful. I think before, when Groundspeak did their AR experiments,
Yeah.
it didn't seem like it fit anything, and this actually seems sort of practical, and well, it's fun too. I mean, it's just kind of fun to look and see the cache overlaid on a real world view for your camera.
Yeah, you take the hint, take it to a whole new level. When you say like, yeah, that's
Yeah, it's got a
nice
little compass on it, so as you walk towards the cache, the marker for the cache gets bigger. I mean, this is like in real life. If you're far away, it's small, and as you walk, it gets bigger until you get right up on top of it, and it's got a little distance measurement, so you know how far away you are from it visually and numerically.
Is that currently on the phone, on the app right now?
Yes, I've seen it. It's when it first popped up, I was like, "What's this?"
Well, is it default on? Is it defaulted on, or
it's a default that first of all, the phone has to support some technology from Google for AR,
right?
And then it has to be close enough to really warrant showing the AR view. And if all those parameters fit, then on the map there's an option to select AR view, and so it just turns the camera on, and you hold your phone up.
Chad, did you try it?
I tried it. I
How
tried
well did it work? Percentage.
So where the coordinates were, it marked that perfectly fine.
Right.
The coordinates on this cache were about 25, 30 feet off. So, I would have walked to that spot anyways, and I would have had to read the hint and then go to the utility pole that was 30 feet off.
So garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. So but I can't blame the app for that. That was the final chords.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, it's just another way to visualize and to hopefully get you closer to the cache. But
no, that's really cool.
Ultimately, it's dependent upon the coordinates.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, to me, it's just something fun.
No, I think AR is really cool. So anything like that, I find fascinating.
Yeah, I looked at the satellite view, and the satellite view had it dead nuts on the utility manhole cover, which is exactly where the marker was showing up in the AR. So.
And potentially that, since it's dependent upon, or not dependent, but uses Street View, if you're in an area where you're having GPS signal issues, it may be that this will be a replacement for that and help you see it.
Yeah, if your signal's bouncing around and that kind of stuff, that definitely would be beneficial there. But also, I think in general, faster locating of the cache. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, again, it's experimental on looking for feedback and seeing if maybe I can start expanding that for the next release.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a capture of that next time.
Yeah, I saw some. It's pretty cool. Ron, what else?
I've got screenshots of that on the website if someone wants to look at it.
I know there's a lot into this thing. So what else we got? There's a lot of stuff.
Something that I saw someone else had done where they were putting weather stats on their log, and I was asking how you do that, and they were going to another app and getting stats and then pasting it in. I was, wow, I don't want to paste it in. So I've built in this thing where, like a lot of apps that have placeholders where when you create a log, that placeholder will be filled in with some value. So there's a weather placeholder. So now when you do a log, it will put like the wind, temperature, cloudy, sunny, or whatever. I sort of like it now because I can go look back at a log I had done and know what the weather was like when I was there.
Does it automatically do it? It automatically puts it on there?
If you insert the placeholder in your log.
So is it like weather in square braces or something?
Yes, exactly that. So in Geooh, if you have placeholders, it's a bracket, a keyword, and a closing bracket. And then when you submit the log, it replaces those bracket placeholders with actual values. Cachly does that. The official app doesn't, but it's a way to kind of build out your log with your fine stats, date, a bunch of other things. So there's a whole slew of placeholders that you could use on it. And part of this too is that you can select a cache that you're not at and display the weather for it. So before you arrive at the location, you may be able to see whether it's raining there or whatever. So it's just kind of a nice way to check the weather before you go there, and also to display the weather when you log it.
Interesting.
I'm going to have to do that when I log the event on Saturday because it's going to be over 100 degrees.
Yeah, Tony says, I noticed that several people, Tony Golden, Swiftly Golden, Jesse, Chet. I noticed that on several people's logs at my event. Really cool. So I guess that's the in thing now. Ron, way to be progressive. What else you got?
The next big thing that Geooh has always had, always, but it has for a while, a TB scanner, and like the other scanners in the market, you just scanned one item at a time. And I updated the app so that it will scan multiple trackables all at once. So let's say you have a table at an event of trackables, and you just hold the scanner above it, and it starts scanning everything and beep, 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 and it starts creating a list of the trackables that it has scanned in.
Really?
And then when you're done, it will start displaying the details of each one of those that were scanned, and you can log it or put it in a bulk logger or whatever you want to do. But that's kind of a nice thing to be able to have multiple trackables in front of you and just to scan them all at one time.
Yeah, what's the accuracy on that? Is it pretty good accuracy?
Well, like any scanner, you got to have good contrast.
Yeah, and that'd be like, if you have a table of them, you got so many different kinds.
And
so
the app was updated to verify that the code is real,
legit.
Right. So it tries to check to say, okay, this is these 6-digit or 8-digit codes, whatever it is. It's a valid trackable code before it registers as scanned and found. Okay. So when you see it in action, it's kind of slick because it starts putting boxes around everything it thinks might be scannable, and the boxes are red as it's scanning, and then if it captures something for real, it makes the box green. So you're seeing it happen.
I've only used it on singular items, so because I thought that was only able to do singular items, but now I'm going to have to try it on a sheet of them and see how well that works.
Test it.
Yeah. Potentially, you can have a paper list of codes that
Oh.
are being passed around,
Yeah.
and just put the scanner above it, the paper, and ding, 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 ding. It's going to get them all for you.
Occasionally at events, not so much now as some of the events in the past. You'll have someone with all their trackables there, and they got the list and
List. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay. Another thing, offline maps. There's a data out there called DEM, DEM, Digital Elevation Model, I think, of elevation for all the locations on Earth. It's data that came from the space shuttle and NASA, and it's in the public domain. So if you're using offline maps, and the maps that Geooh uses for offline, you can have these hill shading DEM models, files. And so it knows where you're at, and then it goes out to NASA and pulls down the files. And so then you'll have a 3D sort of, shaded hills view on that map. And I know some apps charge you to get this data, and Geo's doing it for free. So for those who have offline or like to use offline maps, this is just another enhancement of that to do hill shading or terrain shading for.
Nice. So does it also, is that what it uses on the, so when you long press on the map, you get the coordinates, but you also get an elevation and even the distance from where you're at in bearing.
That's separate. These hill shading files are in a format that only the map software can use to render on the map. The elevation, when you just long press on a location, is a different service, a different, completely different, actually. So
I love that. I love that feature, because someone was asking me the other day, basically what elevation that I'm at, that I live at, and it's just, it's like I thought it was around 700 feet, but it was like, no, it's 797 feet.
Yeah, I remember I did this because of an Earth cache that was asking for elevation, and I think at the time the older Earth caches were expecting you to have an handheld GPS receiver, which provides stuff like that. So I just added it to the app.
Yeah, if the barometric pressure and everything is right, you might get the correct altitude.
And yeah, so this just uses a third-party service to get the elevation for that location. And so anywhere on the map, you can long press to find what the elevation is for it.
Yeah, just like using there's some GSAC macros that would import the elevations for your caches and that kind of stuff. Nice.
Something also that was added in version 13. In these API apps, you either download data light or full. And so on the live map, you may be downloading light and not realize it. Also, if you created an offline list, it may not have full data. So if you're out geocaching and then you lose a network and you try to look at more detail about a cache, you can't, because you can't pull down the full data. So I had it set up that there's now a little tag on the home screen for an offline list that signifies whether it has been downloaded light or full. So it's a nice way to give you an indicator if you're going to go offline with this list, turn it into full instead of light.
Okay.
And again, one of those things, I had problems before where I thought I wasn't sure, but I thought I had a list downloaded full, and it wasn't. And then you get out, I can't get the rest of the data on it. So this just reminds you to get it fully downloaded.
So I just unchecked the light box in my settings.
Added something on the home screen where you can have a search. You put in a GC number, and it will search all your offline lists to see whether it's in any of those lists, and if not, it will immediately go to Groundspeak and download it. It's a way to very quickly put in a GC number to get a cache downloaded to your phone, or to verify whether or not you've already had it downloaded. Instead of going through a more advanced search mechanism, it's just nice to be able to do that on the fly.
Definitely.
On the home screen.
It's like, what GC code is that mystery when you're walking with your friend and pop it in there and
if someone's telling you what the GC, or I see something on a blog or a forum and they list out a GC number, I can just put that in on the home screen and quickly take a look at that cache. Running low on what the major things. There's new watch faces for the watch component. There's an analog and a digital watch face. The digital one will show your avatar in the background, and then the analog one, can't probably see it, but it doesn't show it. It has a second hand, which is kind of slick, where it shows all the cache icons. So as you're watching, every second it changes the cache icon, so you see all the icons that are available out there. And on the watches, you can quickly open up the map if you've downloaded a cache to the map. There's if you've got a watch, and there's a setting that every time you select a cache on the phone, it will automatically download that to the watch. So they're always in sync, that if you're doing something with the phone and you want to just immediately put the phone away and navigate with the compass on the watch, the cache is already downloaded.
Yeah, I forgot to bring my watch over there, charge up my watch and bring it over the weekend. It's something that I haven't played with in several years. But I know that the feature's there. I just haven't played with it with Geooh-Go, and I think it would have been beneficial when I was trying to conserve battery with the screen down, to walk around with just my watch telling me how close I'm getting.
Yeah, the watches are getting better in terms of their battery life, and the value of this is if you're out bushwhacking and you want to put your phone away so that you have better balance, you just use the compass on the watch to navigate to it. And it has the same feature like on the phone, where it's got the proximity
alert
pings.
Ping,
Like
ping,
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 the closer you get
ping,
it,
ping, 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 ping.
yeah, it's just like that. So it's again, it's one of those, it's a feature that when you need it, it's really useful.
Right.
Nice.
Other than that, in terms of version 13, it was made for Android 13, which was the latest. Wear OS 3, and Google has what they call their Material 3 design look and feel. So the app is always at the edge of what Google is recommending or requiring. So you're never behind when it comes to the software levels.
Right.
And so, do you have a long list of things you still want to add to this thing?
The list is getting shorter. I've got. I don't want to talk about it right now,
That's okay. I know.
but I've got. It's like every year I start thinking of what some really slick features will be for the next major release. And last year it was AR and to get the Android Auto back in, which I did that. And I've got one that may or may not work out, but it's the hot topic nowadays.
Ooh, a hot
Ooh.
topic. Ooh, look at that. A hot
The-
topic nowadays.
It's a 2-letter.
Mhm.
I still have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, I got it.
Is it artificial?
Yeah, it is.
Making lazy
so-
people lazier.
I think that's been my goal all along with the app is that
I was talking about myself, but
but no, for me, I seem to be the lazy geocacher, and so every time I was out doing something, I don't want to do this, and so I would add a feature to the app to make it easier for me. So that's the way this app has been built. Either through my suggestions or others adding things, and it's gotten to the point where I forget what features are all out there.
Right.
So Chad, I don't blame you for not knowing about the favorites, because there's going to be something someone's going to tell me about it. And oh yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Right.
And I forget it.
Well, Chad, you had some stuff on your list. You had a bunch of stuff.
Oh, all right. One of my favorite things on there is like the formula solver. So I guess it recognizes when someone's got like the North 37 AB.CD and it automatically gives you a worksheet there, and you can put in your answers and it fills it out for you. So well, you've got to give the answers in there, but it maps it on there, and things like that are really cool built-in features, in my opinion, for someone who's trying to work something in the field like a multi or a puzzle that requires you to solve some information in the field instead of trying to do everything on a notebook and then transfer it into the phone.
Yeah, that's one of those lazy things. Along those lines, I did the same thing or something similar for Earth caches and virtuals, to where you have answers. So you can open up an answer sheet for Earth cache and put the answers in it, and it's saved with the cache. So you don't have to have a separate piece of paper.
Right.
And so if I'm working on a series of answers, I just keep adding to that answer sheet. And then when I'm done, there's a button to actually pull all those answers off and send it in a message or an email. So that's that the answer sheet, the formula, and there was one more. It's escaping me. But it's just nice not to have to worry about having pen and paper with you.
Right.
On things.
I agree.
So.
Oh, that's super nice. That's actually nice. Yes, absolutely. And am I seeing a compass mode with a map underneath it? Is that what I'm seeing on your list here?
Yeah. So when you're navigating to a cache and you just you've clicked on it on the map, and it's got you got your little icon up in the upper right hand side to say like compass navigate or directional navigate. It pulls up I'll pull it up here real quick. Live map. And let's select this one right here. So I've got this one selected, and up here there is a Let's see if I can get it from behind. Well,
Sorry, guys. He's showing us his phone. I apologize for that.
I hit the little compass button and it should, and well, now it went off because it's. If you put it vertical, it disappears from the screen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice.
Nice touch, Ron.
Yeah,
But-
it's nice because if you do vertical, then you can see
You
the
can see
map.
the map,
and
and if you go
then-
down,
I didn't know that because I never put it vertical.
well played.
Yeah, so you got to hold it horizontal like a real compass before it's
compass to work.
accurate. So it kind of even forces you don't hold it vertical if you want to go in compass mode.
So yeah, I've always just hit the little back button to pop out of that mode. But now it's like I don't have to just
No, Chad, look,
tilt
you
the
learned
phone
something
up.
tonight.
I
Yeah.
learned something.
Well, and I don't know if you've tried this, that while you're in the compass mode, go into another app, and then the compass goes into a picture-in-a-picture.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've seen.
Oh,
Definitely
nice.
seen
Oh,
that.
nice.
So I got the little picture-in-picture down there.
So you can open up another app and do some work with the other app, but still have the compass
While you're
running.
navigating, while you're walking to the cache.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Nice touch.
Yeah.
And what is? Am I seeing a Where I Go player is in this thing too?
Yes.
Yes, and actually on Android, it's the one that really works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confirm that, Chad.
Yeah, it so the Where You Go app is what I had been using before this on here, and at least on every Samsung Galaxy phone that I've had, which I've had about half of every Samsung Galaxy series that's come out because I replace my phone every couple of years. The direction on the map is wrong. It's like what you think you're pointing to is wrong consistently, no matter how you orient your phone on the Where You Go app. On this, it works flawlessly.
Yeah, and people have had a difficult time downloading to the Where You Go app because it's just not being maintained basically. And as new releases of Android come out, it just gets more broken. So the Where I Go player in Geooh it's just built in, so it's not a separate app, and it's fully integrated. So as you're looking at a Where I Go cache, you can download it, the cartridge, and then it's available. So there's not any separate steps or juggling apps around. It's just all together.
Yeah, I've left Where You Go behind. I'm sorry.
You pull up Geooh-Go if you're doing one of those?
Yes, definitely.
Nice. There you go.
There's built-in GPX tracking. Basically, you create tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're getting ready to bushwhack, and you start with your car. You turn on the tracking, and it will record your path taken to the cache, and then so it's visually there. So when you want to come back, and you can save it and then send it to someone else, or you can even download GPX tracks from other websites like that for biking or something, and load it in, and all those tracks just overlay on top of the map.
Nice.
And so it's just an added way to navigate around out in the kind of the back country.
No, tracks are not. When I actually use the GPS, I use the tracks all the time, constantly. Now I guess maybe my senses got better as years went on, paying attention more to where I'm going in and out. How often do we get lost, Jess? We don't get lost much anymore. I always turn around. I always make a concerted effort to turn around so I can see. I can see what view is.
I've done that, and recently I took some sticks and made an arrow at the path that we had to turn down.
So we do that, but tracks I used all the time. Back when I actually used a real GPSR, I used them all the time.
And something similar is routes, particularly optimized routes. So if you're
Mhm.
on the map and you select one cache, you can quickly display a route to that cache. So you can see a blue line, so you'll know which way you're going to drive. So you can have a navigation app talk you to it with turn by turn, or you can just visually look at that. You can select multiple caches on a map and then create a route to all those, whether that's optimized or not. And then you can, for an offline list, create a route for that entire list. So you open up the list on a map and you see the best way to get to every cache in that list.
Chad, do you use that?
Sorry, I was playing with another feature.
He found a new setting.
So you're talking about routes and different route routing methodologies. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry.
Yeah, it just I think it's just a real nice way to find the optimal way to get to multiple caches, and it's very simple, fully integrated, and that route stays with that offline list, or if you, again, an ad hoc while you're looking at a map. There's the other apps and websites that will do routes for you, but this is just a real simple, quick, and easy way to do it without much effort. Let's see what else. One thing I've always liked, I did this years ago when at the end of a caching day with a friend. How many caches did we get today? Okay, let's look at our logs and try to add up.
Sure, yeah, count them up. That's what we do. Yes.
Well, on the home screen, you can touch the top bar with your geo name, and it will go out and give you your find stats for the day. So it tells you how many by type, and you can also view it by owner. So how many you find a particular owner.
That's nice.
You can also, instead of just doing it for that day, you can enter dates.
It doesn't include labs.
No, and the API will not let me get a hold of that, and I've had that requested for a long time.
So it looks like Saturday I had a 7 icon day.
Oh no! Look at you with a 7 icon day. Look at you.
So again, that's just nice. You, at the end of the day, I got this, or
I
over
count
this
up all the
weekend.
time. Whenever we're in the car ride home, just like how many, and I have to go and I have to count my logs. I count my logs on the drive home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a nice little feature. It is.
Yeah, and that the stats also, there's a feature on the watch, so you don't have to bring out your phone. You can have the watch tell you how many you've found that day, also.
And I'm seeing,
and you can go hit dates and go to any day that and show it as well. So you can look at past dates, not just the day that.
Oh, really? And see how many you got that day.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's 12 to 12, right? Or yeah, like a 24-hour period, midnight to midnight. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was
for that day. I just noticed earlier we were talking about the different the formula sheet and the answer sheet. There's also a solution checker built in, so the app will examine the description to see whether there's checkers for that. Of course, if it's
using the geocaching.com's checker, it does it, right?
Yes, it does that and has that kind of built in via the API. But if you've also have a cache that's using, now it's going to
the little just call it the green round icon one.
Yeah, well, of course, my brain's not working. But all the third-party solution checkers.
Okay.
There's about 4 or 5 of them. I've got it set up to scan for. So if the description has a link for a third-party checker, Geooh knows that, and so it gives you a real quick button to open up the checker, and then we'll go to the third-party website, or if it's the official Groundspeak one, it just opens up a little window because it's all part of the API without having to go to the website. And then after it's done with the checking, it returns it, and the app tries to refresh the cache with the hopes that you've updated the coordinates, and it will get will refresh it automatically for you.
The really quick, the button to show upcoming events nearby, and the button to show newest placed caches nearby.
Yeah, there's on the home screen, I think that's what's on. There's some, I call them quick lists. Instead of having to create your own offline list, you can have the app automatically generate a list for nearby, newest, adventures. I forget the last one.
Chad, you know what it is?
So these are the things events.
Okay.
So it's just a way to, those are 4 major things that people like to scan for and search for. And so the app quickly displays those. If there's a cache that doesn't have a found log, then it highlights it in the list and also puts a FTF badge on top of it.
Sure.
So you have quickly see that this is a potential for you getting a first to find on that cache.
Yeah, I like that, and I like the DNF logo on ones that have been DNF'd.
DNF recently, DNF. That's a nice one too. Yeah,
yeah. That was years ago when you'd go to a cache and you realize that it had the previous DNFs, and so I wanted to make sure before I go to a cache, I check the logs. If the app puts a banner that this one's been marked DNF on the last log, do you really want to go for it or not?
Okay.
Right. You want to see if it's been like this one DNF'd by a person with 81 fines. That's the only DNF.
I'll go look for that. I'll give that 5 minutes. Yeah, I will definitely give that 5 minutes. All right, Ron. Anything else? Why don't you?
No, I think that really covers it.
All right. So why don't you pimp out the app? What's where can they get it? How does it cost money?
It's again on Google Play. It's $5.99 for the base app. For some for these advanced features, particularly if they require third-party services that I've got to pay extra. There's a subscription for the enhanced version, which is 99 cents every 6 months.
99 cents every 6 months.
And well worth it.
Chad, you have the enhanced version. Are you paying the 99 cents?
Of course, you can see by my screen that the enhanced features are enabled. So,
you're shelling out the big bucks.
I use the county database. So see if I happen to be traveling and I want to know if I've got that county.
Absolutely.
I can see it and put it in and make sure that I get it logged. The trackable, I believe the trackable scanner is part of it. The Where I Go player is part of it. A number of different things that are awesome about the app are part of that.
Yeah, it's
the
funny.
offline, the enhanced offline maps.
I think I told Ron this weeks after he was on the show, over a year ago, and I told Chad, I'm like, Chad, we're having the creator of Geooh-Go, this app on. You have to download the app and you gotta mess around with it. We gotta, we're having him on. Somebody has to use it.
Right.
He said, okay, that's fine, no problem. And he did, and he used it. And Ron, honest, Chad, is this your go-to app now?
It's my go-to app now.
Chad used CGO for years. He was a CGO lover, and now he uses Geooh-Go. So it's funny. So anybody out there who is a CGO user, give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And just keep, I get this with a lot of CGO use. The UI is different.
Yes, it is. It is definitely different, and it's something that. So I come from an old school world, so it was a bit more of an effort for me to kind of get used to some of the stuff. But I think the millennials and stuff get it more instantaneously. That's I will say that. But all the features are there. You just and I think you learn them over time and how to interact with it. So
I mean, it's like a Swiss Army knife too. It's not just a geocaching app. You've got so many other features in it that you can use that you don't even need. All the other apps that you would use, you really don't need anymore. A lot of them.
Yeah, I
Right.
found out everyone seems to have their own set of features that they use regularly, and so everyone's configured the app to do what they want to do, which is good.
But I
Right.
love the fact that Chad, weeks later said like, dude, this is my go-to app now. This is it. Like, it's awesome. And, and he didn't have to. He could have gone right back to his other app, So that's a pretty good tale right there when you can convert someone like Chad who used CGO for years, So good job,
You
Ron.
just have to learn is all.
Yeah, of course. It's
yeah.
a learning. Yeah, it's a learning curve. Yeah. I mean, of course.
There's always a learning curve, and one of the challenges is if you've got a go-to app is to get out of that comfort zone while you're out there geocaching. And I challenge any CGO user to go out to get this app, go out there and then get out of their comfort zone and start using this.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for nothing, what is it, $6? And 99 cents every 6 months. Yeah, that's nothing. Nothing. Ron, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy.
Thanks for having me here.
Of course. You're putting out a great app. Chad loves it. So
Yeah.
unfortunately,
I
I'm never going
spend more in
Android.
gas going to get a geocache.
At this day. Yeah, where you live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Ron, stay right there. Okay. Don't leave yet. But thank you so much for being on the show. We totally appreciate you and everything you're doing for this community and for being on the show tonight. Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much. I'm just gonna put you on mute. Chad,
Mm-hmm.
next week.
Next week
We're going away. Guys, we do the show every week. Obviously, last week was baseball. This week, we're going to Cooperstown on Saturday. Travel baseball. So we're going to have, I wasn't going to do a show, but then Jesse put it in the pod blast that we're having a repeat show. So I got to have a repeat show. So don't give me that look. Jesse.
I got that from somewhere.
I don't know where you would get that from.
No, I got that from our list.
Our
I
list is
always look at the list when I'm.
The list
creating
says
that.
no show is what the list says.
No, I'm July 5th, show number 773.
That's all right.
No show
I downloaded
in
a couple.
parentheses, repeat.
It's okay. I downloaded a couple.
I'm looking at it right
So
now.
we're gonna have a repeat show next week, guys. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be Chad. We're going super old school next week.
We are. Well, what are we going to see?
We're going to 2007.
Wow.
2000. That was a little before my time.
That's before my time. That's how old that is. We were youngins.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
Less,
caching.
way
then.
less gray back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to
definitely.
2007, going to X Punk and Daryl W4. We all love Daryl. So that's what's coming next week to you guys. So sorry about that, baseball. What are you gonna do? It's almost over. So so 2 weeks next week is a repeat, and then 2 weeks from Wednesday is going to be a Cash or Coffee show. So there you go.
And they haven't done a new wheel spin, have they?
No, I think they did do a new wheel spin.
Did
They
they?
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
yeah. There's been all kinds of discussion, let's say, about it.
Is that what they're calling it?
It's definitely discussion.
Wait, disgusting or discussion?
Discussion.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. Just making sure I heard that right.
Okay.
All right. Oh, FF Skippy says I might have listened back then. Well, you're gonna find out next week. See if you might have listened. All right, guys. So that's next week. So Chad, be well. Ron, thank you so much, buddy. We're going to close the show. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archived video versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available wherever you find your favorite podcasts. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you click that subscribe or get notified buttons to know exactly when we go live. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $5, you will get a ton of additional information, extra video, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Odds Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Art and Crafted, PatTags.com, Geocaching Adventures LLC, and Geooh-Go. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll see you next week talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we'll talk to you guys next week. And we're clear. All right, guys, there you go. Thank you so much. We will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Again, repeat show next week. Should be a good one. We will talk to you guys next week. Be well and be safe. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I swear they just want me to burn through all my